Walking through the quiet silver hours of this early dawn, I find myself thinking about how often we stand on the threshold of something monumental without even realizing the ground is shifting beneath our feet. We spend so many of our days bracing for the worst, looking for the shadows in the corners, and preparing our hearts for disappointment because it feels safer than hoping. Yet, as the sky begins to soften into shades of gold and blue, I am reminded that the heart was never meant to live in a state of permanent defense. We are created to look upward, to breathe in the possibility of the impossible, and to move through the world with a sense of holy expectation. This morning feels different, as if the air itself is heavy with the promise of a turning tide. I want to share this stillness with you, to lean into the quiet confidence that the long winter of the soul is finally giving way to a spring we didn't think would ever come. Finding a moment to pause and pray together is the greatest gift of this journey, and I am so deeply grateful that you have chosen to spend these first few minutes of your day here at Miracle Prayer Studio. Our community is built on the simple, beautiful act of opening our hearts to the divine, and if these words bring even a flicker of peace to your spirit, I would be so honored if you would subscribe and walk this path of faith alongside us. Your presence here is a testament to the fact that none of us walk alone. And as we join our voices in this sacred space, we create a ripple of hope that reaches far beyond what our eyes can see. Let us settle into this moment together, letting the noise of the world fade into the background as we prepare to speak with the one who knows our names and loves us beyond measure. Within the ancient and sacred pages of Hebrews 11:1, we find a steady anchor for our wandering thoughts where it tells us, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." These words feel like a gentle hand on a tired shoulder, urging us to look past the visible walls and the closed doors that seem to define our current reality. They remind us that our faith isn't a reaction to what has already happened, but a deep, resonant yes to what God is doing in the unseen places. It is the quiet certainty that even when the evidence of our senses suggests otherwise, the foundations of a miracle are being laid. When we hold on to this assurance, we are no longer victims of our circumstances, but participants in a divine mystery that is constantly unfolding for our good and His glory. My King, I come before you in this soft morning light, letting these words from Hebrews sink deep into the soil of my soul. I want to enter into a true and honest communion with you, setting aside the polished versions of myself that I show to the world. I choose to focus all my attention on your presence, acknowledging that you are the source of every breath and every heartbeat. This assurance spoken of in your word is what I crave today. Not a fleeting feeling of happiness, but a rock-solid conviction that you are who you say you are. I lean into the mystery of the unseen, trusting that your hands are shaping my future even while I am sleeping. I silence the loud demands of my logic and the persistent whispers of my anxiety, choosing instead to listen for the still, small voice that tells me I am loved, I am seen, and I am being led toward a breakthrough that only your grace can provide. Father in heaven, I stand at the beginning of this day and I lay down the maps I have tried to draw for my own life. I offer this entire day to you, not as a list of tasks to be checked off, but as a living sacrifice of trust. I place my morning coffee, my commute, my conversations, and my quiet moments of work into your capable hands. I surrender my need to know exactly how everything will turn out, and I give you permission to interrupt my plans with your better ones. My heart is open to the sudden movements of your Spirit, the unexpected phone calls, the chance encounters, and the quiet shifts in perspective that change everything. I entrust my reputation, my efforts, and my timing to you, believing that you are the perfect architect of my days. I am content to be a follower today, walking in the light of your guidance and resting in the knowledge that you have already gone before me to level the mountains and straighten the crooked paths. My dear Lord, my heart hums with a quiet and profound gratitude as I look at the simple mercies you have scattered across my life like stars. I thank you for the warmth of my bed, for the strength in my limbs, and for the way the light catches the dew on the grass outside my window. I am so thankful for the trials that have taught me how to lean on you, and for the joys that have reminded me of your kindness. I see your hand in the way a friend reaches out at just the right time, and in the way a difficult situation suddenly softens. Thank you for being a God who cares about the small details of my existence, from the thoughts I haven't yet spoken to the needs I am too afraid to name. I praise you for your constancy in a world that is always changing, and for the way your love remains the one thing I can always count on, no matter how many times I stumble or lose my way. Today, I also carry the weight of my own failings to your feet, asking for your gentle forgiveness to wash over me like a cooling rain. I am sorry for the moments yesterday when I allowed my tongue to be sharper than it needed to be, or when I let my heart grow cold with judgment towards someone who was also struggling. I ask for your mercy for the hidden pride that makes me think I can handle my life without your help, and for the impatience that causes me to snap at the people I love most. Please forgive me for the times I have doubted your goodness because I couldn't see the end of the road, and for the moments I chose fear over the faith you have so graciously given me. Cleanse the dusty corners of my soul, Lord, and help me to start this day with a heart that is light, free, and ready to reflect your purity to everyone I meet. Jesus, as I begin to lift up the specific needs of my life, I ask first for a peace that transcends everything I can understand. I pray for the one whose heart is racing this morning with the weight of an impossible decision, and I ask that you would settle their spirit with the quiet authority of your presence. I ask for strength for those who feel like they are at the very end of their rope, those who have been fighting the same battle for years and feel their resolve slipping away. Give them a supernatural second wind, a divine energy that doesn't come from their own willpower but from the inexhaustible well of your spirit. I pray for the weary mother, the exhausted student, and the worker who feels undervalued, asking that you would remind them of their immense worth in your eyes. Let them feel your arms beneath them, holding them up when they can no longer stand on their own. My King, I ask for a sudden breakthrough in the areas where we have felt stuck for far too long. For the person who has been knocking on the same door for years, I pray that this would be the day the hinges finally give way. I ask for a breakthrough in our perspectives, that we would stop seeing our problems as giants and start seeing them as opportunities for your power to be displayed. I pray for a miracle of clarity for those walking through a fog of confusion, that your word would truly be a lamp to their feet and a light to their path today. Help us to expect great things from you, not because we deserve them, but because you are a generous Father who delights in giving good gifts to his children. Let our hearts be prepared to receive the sudden blessing, the sudden healing, and the sudden restoration that you have been preparing in the secret places of your sovereignty. Father, I pray for the health of our bodies and our minds, recognizing that you are the great physician who knows every cell and every neuron. I ask for a miracle of healing for the one who has received a frightening report from the doctor, or the one who is living with chronic pain that drains the joy from their days. I speak life into the places that have felt like they were dying, and I ask for your restorative touch to move through our veins and our thoughts. I also pray for those struggling with the invisible wounds of the mind, the depression that feels like a heavy cloak, and the anxiety that feels like a constant vibration. Bring your stillness into those storms, Lord, and remind us that our identity is not found in our diagnosis, but in our status as your beloved children. We trust you with our physical frames and our mental peace, knowing that you are the one who binds up the brokenhearted and heals all our diseases. My dear Lord, I lift up our families and our homes to you, asking that they would be sanctuaries of your grace. I pray for a breakthrough in relationships that have been strained by years of silence, misunderstanding, or hurt. I ask for the miracle of a soft word that turns away wrath, and for the courage to offer an apology where it is needed. Protect our children as they go out into a world that is often confusing and harsh. Wrap them in your truth and give them a sense of purpose that the world cannot take away. I pray for the marriages that are hanging by a thread, asking that you would weave your love back into the fabric of those unions, bringing a sudden renewal of affection and commitment. Let our homes be places where your name is honored and where the peace of God rules in every heart, making us a light to our neighbors and a refuge for the lonely. Jesus, I pray for our work and our daily callings, asking that you would give us a vision for the sacredness of our ordinary tasks. For those who are currently unemployed and feeling the sting of rejection, I ask for a breakthrough in their search. Open a door that no man can shut and provide for their needs in ways that leave them in awe of your provision. For those who are in high-pressure environments, give them a spirit of wisdom and a calm mind that can navigate complex problems with ease. I ask that our work would not just be a means to an end, but a way to serve you and to love our neighbors well. Give us favor with our colleagues and our supervisors, not for our own vanity, but so that we might have a greater platform to share your kindness and your integrity with a world that is desperately searching for something real. Father, I ask for your divine protection to be a wall around us today, shielding us from the arrows that fly by day and the terrors that lurk in the night. I pray against the schemes of the enemy that would seek to steal our joy, kill our hope, or destroy our peace. We place our lives under the shadow of your wings, trusting that you are our refuge and our fortress. Whether we are traveling on the roads, walking through our neighborhoods, or simply sitting in our offices, let your angels encamp around us. Protect our minds from the lies of the accuser and our hearts from the temptations that would lead us away from your path. We declare that no weapon formed against us shall prosper, not because of our own strength, but because we belong to the King of Kings, who has already won the victory over every darkness. My King, as I dwell on the idea of a miracle, I am reminded of what C.S. Lewis once wrote about how miracles are a retelling in small letters of the very same story which is written across the whole, a world in letters too large for some of us to see. I pray that today we would have eyes to see those small letters. Give us a breakthrough in our spiritual sight so that we don't miss the miraculous in the mundane. Help us to see the miracle in a child's laughter, the miracle in a stranger's kindness, and the miracle in the fact that we can talk directly to the Creator of the universe. We don't just want the big, flashy breakthroughs, though we welcome them. We want the deep, soul-level miracle of being completely transformed by your love. Let our lives be a living testimony to the fact that you are still in the business of doing the impossible, and that you are doing it in us, right here and right now. My dear Lord, I intercede now for those who feel completely forgotten by the world, those whose voices have been drowned out by the noise of progress and power. I pray for the elderly person sitting alone in their room, for the prisoner who feels there is no way out, and for the refugee who is searching for a place to call home. Let them feel a sudden breakthrough of comfort today, a tangible sense that you are with them in the heights and in the depths. I ask that you would move the hearts of your people to be the hands and feet that bring those miracles to pass. Use us as instruments of your peace and help us to be the breakthrough that someone else has been praying for. Let our lives be so filled with your light that we cannot help but spill it over into the dark places, bringing hope where there was none and love where it was least expected. Father, I ask for wisdom that comes from above, the kind of insight that doesn't depend on human cleverness but on the revelation of your Spirit. For the student who is struggling to understand their path, for the leader who is carrying the weight of many lives, and for the person trying to navigate a complicated family dynamic. Grant them the sudden clarity they need. Pray that we would be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, reflecting the wisdom of your kingdom in every interaction. We don't want to just make smart choices, we want to make God-honoring choices. Help us to see people as you see them, and to see our challenges through the lens of your eternal perspective. When we don't know what to do, we fix our eyes on you, trusting that you will give us the words to say and the steps to take at exactly the right moment. Jesus, I pray for a breakthrough in our finances and our resources, acknowledging that you are the owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills, and that everything we have belongs to you. I ask for your provision for the family that doesn't know how they will pay their rent this month, or for the business owner who is worried about keeping their doors open. We reject the spirit of lack and the fear of poverty, choosing instead to trust in your promise to supply all our needs according to your riches in glory. Give us a breakthrough in our stewardship, helping us to be generous even when we have little, and to be faithful with the resources you have already placed in our hands. We look to you as our source, believing that you can multiply the loaves and the fishes in our lives today, creating abundance where there was only scarcity and opening windows of heaven that we cannot even contain. My King, I ask for the miracle of a renewed mind, one that is no longer conformed to the patterns of this world, but is transformed by the daily washing of your word. I pray for a breakthrough over the thought patterns that have kept us in bondage, the self-criticism, the shame, and the constant comparison that steals our peace. Replace those lies with the truth of who we are in Christ, forgiven, chosen, and deeply loved. Let our thoughts be stayed on you, so that we may walk in perfect peace. I ask that you would quiet the internal chatter that tells us we aren't enough, or that our miracle will never come. Today, we choose to believe your report over the report of our feelings or the report of the world. We take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ, making our minds a garden where your truth can grow and flourish, bringing forth fruit that remains. Father, I pray for the strength to wait well, which is often the hardest miracle of all. For the person who has been in the middle of their story for a long time, give them the grace to not grow weary in well-doing. I ask for a breakthrough in our patience, so that we don't try to birth a miracle prematurely through our own striving. Help us to realize that the waiting room is actually a classroom where you are teaching us the rhythms of trust and the beauty of dependence. We want to be like the eagle that waits for the wind, not flapping our wings in exhaustion, but soaring on the currents of your grace. Let us find joy in the waiting, knowing that when the breakthrough finally comes, it will be all the sweeter because we have walked so closely with you through the silence. We trust your timing implicitly, believing that you are never a second late and that your sudden is always perfect. My dear Lord, as I bring this first part of our prayer to a close, I simply want to rest in the assurance we spoke of earlier. I thank you that even before I see the answer, I can celebrate the fact that you are working. I am not waiting for a miracle to happen so that I can be happy. I am finding my joy in you right now, in the midst of the process. I thank you for the peace that is already beginning to settle in my heart and the hearts of my brothers and sisters who are praying with me. We are standing on the edge of the unseen, with our eyes fixed on you, the author and finisher of our faith. We are ready for the breakthrough, but more than that, we are ready for more of you. Let this day be one of divine surprises and holy encounters as we walk forward with the quiet confidence of those who know they are loved by the King of Kings. Jesus, I find myself lingering in your presence as this prayer continues, unwilling to rush away because this communion is the very air my soul needs to breathe. I carry the names of my loved ones before you now, those who are facing silent battles I may never fully understand, and I ask for a sudden breakthrough in their spirits, a glimpse of your light that pierces through the thickest fog of their despair. For the friend who feels like they are failing, let them feel the miracle of your unconditional acceptance this morning. For the neighbor who is struggling to make ends meet, let them witness the miracle of your quiet, steady provision in a way that leaves no doubt of your care. I intercede for the stranger I will pass today, asking that you would use my life as a humble vessel for the very breakthrough they have been crying out for in secret. Let my words be seasoned with your grace, and my actions be an extension of your healing hand, so that together we might see your kingdom come in the small, everyday moments of our lives. My King, I realize that a heart truly prepared for a miracle is a heart that has let go of the need to be right or the need to be first. I ask for the miracle of deep humility today, the kind that allows me to see your hand even in the interruptions and the frustrating delays that I usually try to avoid. Corrie ten Boom once beautifully noted that faith is like radar that sees through the fog, the reality of things at a distance that the human eye cannot see. And I ask for that spiritual radar to be activated within me now. Help me to navigate this day by the truth of your promises rather than the turbulence of my own shifting emotions. When I feel the urge to complain about the wait or the silence, remind me that you are busy behind the veil, weaving a tapestry of grace that will one day leave me breathless with gratitude. I choose to believe that the miracle is already in motion, even if my physical eyes cannot yet see the evidence of the change. Father in heaven, as I prepare to step out into the world and face the demands of the day, I surrender my rigid expectations of how my miracle should look or when it should arrive. I give you the absolute freedom to move in ways that surprise me and to work through channels I never would have considered. If my breakthrough comes through a difficult conversation that leads to a long-awaited reconciliation, or through a door closing so that a much better one can open, I receive it with a trusting and peaceful heart. I place my hands open before you, holding nothing back and clinging to no specific outcome other than your will being done. I am ready for the sudden work of your Spirit, but I am also content with the slow work of your sanctification within me. My life belongs entirely to you, highly to my King, and I trust that your timing is not a cold delay, but a divine orchestration designed for my ultimate good and the manifestation of your glory in this world. Looking back at the path we have walked together in this prayer, it becomes so clear that our humanity is most beautiful when it is most expectant. We are a people built for wonder and created for connection with the divine, yet we so often settle for the mundane because we are afraid to be disappointed by our own hopes. But what if we decided, just for today, to live as though a miracle is inevitable? What if we walked into our offices, our schools, and our homes with the quiet, unshakable confidence that the Creator of the stars is personally interested in the rhythm of our individual days? This sense of expectancy isn't a demand we make of you, Lord. It is a posture of the soul that simply acknowledges your infinite capacity to do more than we could ever ask or think. As we close this time, together, let us carry that warmth with us into the world, knowing that the atmosphere of our lives is about to change because we have chosen to look up and expect the impossible. Walking forward into the light of this morning, I rest in the certainty that I am not alone and that my breakthrough is already on its way to meet me. I thank you, Father, for hearing the whispers of my heart and for the peace that now guards my mind like a fortress. I go forth with a gentle joy, ready to witness the wonders you have prepared for me and to be a light for others who are still searching for their own way home. Amen.